So, as a lot of you have no doubt seen, the content on this channel has been rather lacking as of late. So this is basically a video that way you don't need to watch the 2.5 hour long live show that I done yesterday, stoned out my face and tramadol. That was fun. Can't remember half of what I was talking about during that live show. In fact, that live show was only supposed to last an hour. It just went on and on because I kept repeating myself over and over again because, again, couldn't remember what the hell I was saying. So, it's been no secret that at the beginning, in fact, it wasn't even the beginning, it was the back half of last year, I took, I think it was just under a month off at the back half of last year due to ongoing health issues. Those health issues are still there, and they are now rearing their ugly head even worse than they were at the end of last year. It's one of the reasons that there hasn't been much content on this channel over the past month. On top of that, Mother Dearest, the old dear, has not been keeping too well health-wise either. She's well on the mend now, though. She's in a lot better state than I'm in right now, that's for fucking sure. So this past month and a half has been mostly down. To be honest, it's been mostly down. In fact, today, that's 2 hours, probably 2 hours after this video goes up, I'm actually off to hospital for a minor stomach operation. So, on top of all this, it's also no secret from the what's ups that I've been doing lately that there is a bit of a monetary problem going on with vaping with Vic, the company. The whole cost of living crisis that's been ongoing, not just in the UK, but across the European Union, and also to a certain extent over in the United States, means that people just don't have spare cash. And as everyone knows, in fact it's more than that, about 95% of what you see here is crowdfunded. Simple as that, it's crowdfunded. There was a time when that percentage was a lot lower. There was a time when about 65 to 70% of the money coming in was crowdfund sources, Patreon, Subscribestar, YouTube, and the rest of the 20% was from vape companies that decided to buy a fast track. Now, that's changed a lot, especially with the advent of the disposable market in the European Union and the United Kingdom. A lot of these disposable manufacturers, and for that matter, pod manufacturers and AIO manufacturers, have now divested or directed their marketing budgets away from YouTube and onto the likes of Instagram, onto the likes of TikTok, and onto the likes of Instagram Shots. They are now spreading their money out into other avenues, and because they're doing this, it means that a big chunk of the income for vaping with Vic is essentially dried up. It's essentially vanished. And yeah, so on top of all the health ongoing issues that I had to deal with, there was the issue of this place, the place that I'm sitting in right now, which is the studio that I've been renting out. Well, this one's been rented out for about 1.5 years. The old studios are actually next door through that wall. They'd been given up a long time ago. So there's the rent for this place, and there is, once I've recovered, I mean, it's a minor stomach op today, so it should only take me a couple of days to recover, but once I've recovered, there is going to be a meeting between me and a couple of companies next week. And the gist of what the whole live show was all about last night is essentially me opening up a secondary revenue stream on the channel. If you go to Linus Tech Tips, or you go to Jay's 2 Cents, or you go to Bitwit, or you go to Gamers Nexus, and that's all the major tech reviewers that review tech. But if you go to car reviewers, there's people that review cars on YouTube. You think about it, there's probably somebody that reviews it. But the big all-encompassing thing that goes on with all of the reviewer spheres, apart from e-cigarettes, is this message is brought to you by our sponsor today, and our sponsor is insert advert. They're called baked-in ads. And Linus has been doing them for the better part of half a decade. Jay's 2 cents is the same. Practically all of the tech reviewers have been doing. This message is brought to you by our sponsor, and our sponsor is insert ad, like Tunnel Bear or NordVPN or Manscaped. They were doing a whole load of advertising pushes at the end of last year. The annoying one, that fucking mobile game, Riot something. It's a little mobile game. Everyone was advertising that at the end of last year. But you don't see it in the e-cigarette industry. Well, not the industry. You don't see it in e-cigarette channels. Because there is a aura that surrounds electronic cigarette reviewers. And you see it all the time on Reddit or in larger Facebook groups, that the general consensus by the general viewing public, well, not the general viewing public, but a minority of the more vocal people that watch electronic cigarette reviews is all e-cigarette reviewers should do this for free. They shouldn't make any money from it. They should only do it as a hobby. And that's what a couple of people said over in Reddit. All these e-cigarette reviewers, they shouldn't do it professionally. It should only be done as a hobby. But hold on, you're the same people that watch Linus Tech Tips, who gets items in for free. You're the same people that watches Jay's 2 cents, that gets items sent in for free. You're the same people that watch Gamers Nexus, Bitwit, all the big tech reviewers that get hundreds of dollars worth of motherboard, thousands of dollars worth of computer gear sent in every single week. And they're giving it, well done for that review. And they're making an absolute ton of money in sponsorship ads during their video. So it's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for me. When did you make that fucking stupid rule up? Yeah? So, next week, Monday or Tuesday, I think it's going to be, I'm going to be having a sit-down meeting with a manufacturer. Now, this is where I've got to tread the line very carefully, because there are rules against actual vape shops, like Vaping 101 or eCig 1 here in the UK, or VPZ, brick and mortar store. There's rules against them purchasing an ad during one of my videos. YouTube itself has got a big rule against that, and the TRPR and TPD has got a big rule against that as well in the UK and the European Union. You cannot mix reviewing with marketing at the same time. A line has got to be drawn, and several sections of the TRPR drew that line when the TRPR was split off from the TPD. But manufacturers are a different kettle of fish. Most manufacturers do not have a front window shop on their site. And it's a couple of manufacturers that I emailed over the course of the past couple of weeks to ask them if they would be interested in baked-in ads for one review, or one hardware review, and one juice review per week on this channel. And the way I'm thinking of it, with those irons that are currently in the fire right now, if even one of those irons come out hot, it means that I can keep this place and I won't be facing bankruptcy at the end of next month. Simple as that, folks. Simple as that. The way it's looking right now, there is no chance of me going to the UK Vapor Expo. It's just not going to happen. Right now, I can't even afford the train fare to go down. Hell, I'm 3 months behind on the rent of this place. So that's just, yeah. Luckily enough, the landlord is very forgiving, at least right now. But the way that things are going to run out, or run in, at least for going through next week, if none of those irons come out hot, I am basically looking over the edge of a cliff face, standing at the very edge of the cliff looking down. This place will need to go, and a lot of the contents of this place will need to be sold, because there's no way it's all going to fit in that bedroom. There's no way it's going to fit in that bedroom. So everything hinges on what's going to happen at the beginning and midway through next week. Whether Vaping with Vic continues as it is here in this place, or whether there's going to be a severely cut down version of Vaping with Vic taking place back at the bedroom at the house like it was in 2014. If it does get to the stage that if it does get to the stage that I end up having to give up this place, give up the studio, and basically sell everything off and keep a couple of cameras and a light or two, plus the microphone, and go back to the bedroom to do it, there's no way I can do that as a full-time job anymore. It would end up becoming a hobby again, and it would only be maybe 1 or 2 reviews a week, if that. Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members would also be shut down, and I would basically go back to the way I was. Full disability. But the thing is, I don't want to do that. Now, I know that some of you out there are going to be sitting there saying, well, Vic, why don't you actually get a real job, as Cheech would say. Here's the thing, though. About a month ago, I was on the job market. I was actually on the job market. And the idea was I could get a semi-full-time job, and the money coming in from that, the spare cash coming in from that, could help support this place. Nobody would want to hire me when they found out about the health issues. Technically speaking, and I don't think I mentioned this during the live show yesterday because I was out my face and fucking tramadol again, but technically speaking, I should actually be on disability right now. The doctor said it to me 2 times already that I should be on the full ESA/PIP. But I can't, because I don't want to. I would rather have some semblance of a 9-to-5 normal job, at least for 3 times a week. And that's what this place represents. This place represents a semblance of a job. But the problem is, that semblance of a job is now not paying anywhere near as much as me being back on disability again. That's the hard truth. That's the hard, honest truth. Because the income for this place is cratered since the whole economic crisis came in. I'm feeling it. If you're in the UK or in Europe and you're watching this, you're definitely feeling it right now. The rise in the cost of living, the interest rates hitting 10.4% in the United Kingdom last month. The rise of cost in food, the rise in cost of electricity, the rise in cost of gas. Everyone's feeling it. And the less disposable income someone has, the less money they're going to have to support their favourite creator. It's not just me seeing this going on. YouTube reviewers, not just in the e-cigarette sphere, but in all spheres, are also seeing the same thing. But the difference is, other reviewers outside of the electronic cigarette sphere can fall back on paid ads baked into their videos, which I haven't done in this channel. I was thinking of doing it 2 years ago, decided against it. That was a big mistake. I should have went ahead with that plan. But there we go, folks. I thought I would let everyone be caught up on what's going on. Also, the Vape Around Awards, the final voting is now open. In fact, final voting ends on April the 12th. I cannot, in good conscience, sit here and ask you for a vote for me. Because looking at this channel, not so much, I mean, I'm taking this from a 12-month perspective since last May, right? Because this thing goes from a May to May cycle for the Vape Around Awards. But for the last 6 months, the content on this channel's been sparse. The health problems that hit me November going into December of last year meant there was a large tract of winter where there was very, very sporadic reviews. And then what's happened now, at least for the past month, again, there's been very, very sporadic reviews. Now, the argument could be said, if I am fishing for votes out there, the eCig 101 series. eCig 101 Season 1 was a massive success. That's helped a lot of people give up smoking and stop smoking services down south in England. eCig 101 Season 2, which is done and dusted already, that was also quite a big success. But here's the thing, because of the health problems, eCig 101 Season 3 is currently on hold. Technically speaking, right now, I should be halfway through Season 4. Well, not halfway. I should be beginning Season 4, which is the stuff about hobbyist vaping. But when it comes down to it, this is a review channel. and it hasn't been doing that many reviews, at least for the past 6 months, because of the health issues. If you want to vote for me, go right ahead. But if you've got a second choice, like Gaz Flatcap, for instance, I would say vote for him instead of me, because Gaz and people like Gaz, other UK reviewers, have been churning out reviews more consistently than I have over the past 6 months, discounting what was done the previous 6 months before that, May, June, July, August, September, October, following last May. That was a very busy time for me, but, you know, it's up to you guys. Yes, I would like to get the Vape Around Award for 5 years in a row. I've already got 4 of them sitting up there behind me, but as somebody once said not too long ago, the only person that can break Vic's run, at least for the Vape Around Award, is Vic himself. And that's what it's come down to. I will be the first to admit that the way that this channel's been not doing regular reviews for 2 months, well, 2.5 months, let's be honest, for 2.5 months out of the current 6-month back-end run of the Vape Around Award, there is other reviewers out there that probably deserve the vote more than I do, who are much more consistent with the live shows and much more consistent with the reviews, because, yeah, they're much more in better health than I am. It's a plain and simple fact, folks. Anyway, we're going to call it quits there. I don't quite know when this video is going to go out. I think it's probably going to go out a couple of hours before I end up toddling off to the hospital for the minor operation. Whether there is a UK vape show tomorrow all depends on what I'm feeling or how I'm feeling. If the after effects of the minor op's going to be a bad one, there's probably not going to be a UK vape show tomorrow. I will try and keep everyone up to date, especially on Patreon, Subscribestar and YouTube members, as to what's actually going to happen after I have these business meetings with a couple of manufacturers at the very beginning of next week, whether Vaping with Vic can continue on as it is right now, or Vaping with Vic will essentially fold as a business and I basically sell up most of the stuff that you're seeing behind me and most of the stuff that I'm seeing in front of me, and just go back to doing it in the bedroom as a part-time hobby again. Yeah, big changes are coming if those irons that are currently in the fire is not going to work out and they come out cold. Big changes are definitely coming. It's not just the fault of the current economic crisis that's going on, the cost of living crisis. Some of it is down to me as well. Some of it is down to me not diversifying the income of this channel about 2 years ago when I first seen this problem start to creep up. Yeah, some of it is down to me deciding things will work out, Vic. They didn't. It just got worse. It just got worse. The economic crisis straight after the COVID lockdowns ended, no one seen that coming. Literally no one seen that coming. And it's just been getting progressively worse since then. So, yeah, I will try and keep everyone as updated as possible. If I do manage to secure some kind of advertising deal with at least one of these manufacturers, it basically means that, yes, I will be going to the UK Vapor Expo in May, because then I will actually be able to afford it. Simple as that. So, anyway, that's it from me, folks. As always, thanks for watching and have a good one.